Hey guys, Levelcap here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming. The Battlefield 1 developers have been teasing that they're going to release the Lupkow Pass map from the new Russian DLC on the Battlefield 1 CTE, that's Community Test Environment. It was supposed to come out yesterday, now it's supposed to come out today. Hopefully it does, we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed. In addition to that, DICE has been sporadically dropping some cool concept exploration artwork from the Turning Tides DLC. This is the DLC that's going to focus a lot on naval warfare, have controllable large ships in the world that you might have to fight on or between, and even do some docking or raiding on ports. So this is kind of an exciting DLC. It's going to mess around with some new vehicle dynamics, and this concept exploration here shows some pretty cool looking naval warfare. I'm very excited for this DLC, as the naval DLC for Battlefield 4 was quite fun, and it really did a good job of integrating boats in a fun way to the combat. In addition to this, DICE has been doing themed Battle Pack revisions focusing on specific YouTubers. They did one for Jack Frags, now Westy, soon Stone Mountain, and then another YouTuber as well. And included with this new revision system is a stat tracker, or rather a progression tracker, for new in-game assignments. This is kind of big news because before it would give you an assignment to unlock a dog tag or something. It would be like get 50 kills or 50 revives, and people wouldn't know how far they were along on that assignment. You would have to like make your own stat tracker. It was a pain in the butt and kind of weird that the game didn't have one. Well, it should be in the game now, and hopefully this will translate into a lot of other future assignments that are coming out and just make it easier for players to track and understand when they unlock a new assignment. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has seen a lot of exciting news this week. First and foremost, I've already done a video on a bunch of this stuff, but if you missed those, the game is going to get a first-person only mode in the next monthly patch, and included with that will be an FOV slider. Now, the first-person only mode may or may not include some different animations or perspectives, as the current first-person only mode can be a little bit janky at times. We'll have to see what it actually looks like when the next monthly patch hits, but I'm very excited for this, and the community has really stirred up a lot of excitement for this as well. Many of the big personalities on Twitch and YouTube who have been playing and promoting this game have stated that pretty much when the first-person mode comes out, they're going to switch over to that exclusively. And that's very exciting. It means that the hardcore players, the people who play the game the most and that probably have the best understanding of the game, really want that first-person mode over anything else. So I think we might see a huge shift from the player base from third-person to first-person, despite the whole game initially being designed around that third-person mechanic. In the meantime, weekly updates have continued to make small changes and bug fixes to the game, but most people are really waiting for those big monthly patches to bring the big sweeping changes. I'm very excited for this next one. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is getting a beta starting in October. If you pre-order the game, you'll get access to the beta on October 4th, and if not, you'll get access to the beta on October 6th, and this will run until October 9th. So far, there has been a closed alpha, which I've been able to participate in, but can't really talk about from NDA. But we do know that the closed alpha was showing off the Battle of Theed, which is what we saw in the E3 demonstration. This beta will also include the Battle of Theed, but it's going to add a second mode called Starfighter Assault. And although we don't have specific details regarding exactly how this mode is going to play out, we already know that they're going to allow for massive space battles revolving around the Star Wars trilogy, and DICE has also said you can pilot an assortment of Star Wars greatest ships in objective-based multi-staged battles. So this is kind of exciting, and it means that you're gonna get the modes that you love from the original Battlefront games. EA is putting their best foot forward on this one and leading with some of those game modes that people really wanted in the original Star Wars Battlefront 1. Hopefully it's considerably more advanced than Fighter Squadron and adds a bit more depth. Star Citizen. I haven't talked about this game in a while. Not that there hasn't been news on it though. In fact, there's so much news coming out about Star Citizen that you can already dedicate an entire YouTube channel just to covering this game. Cloud Imperium makes regular developer update videos showing off really cool and cinematically edited areas of the game. One of their latest videos showed off more of the planetary procedural generation, how amazingly high fidelity it is, and also just flying down through the atmosphere again seamlessly onto the planet's surface and showing off a team of people excavating in the desert. I mean, the visuals in this game are just mind-blowing. There's so much information here, easily enough for its own video, and if you are interested more in this game, I highly recommend checking out a link in the video description where you can watch this whole developer video on the planetary procedural generation. It's very impressive, and they're taking the CryEngine to areas that I don't think the original designers ever thought it would go. They're really taking gaming to a new realm, if you will. Earlier this year, 612 Games revealed a new MMO FPS called Wild West Online. With the success of games like Red Dead Redemption and TV shows like Westworld, it seemed only like a matter of time before somebody really sunk their time in and made an MMO based around the Wild West, and sure enough, we've got one. We have a new gameplay trailer now showing off the bounty system, how you use bounties and newspapers to get quests and stuff and move around the game world, and it even shows off some of the shooter mechanics. Visually, it's off to an impressive start. The world looks really nicely rendered. I definitely see some hints of Westworld in there. The train station at the start looks very reminiscent of the exact town layout from Westworld, but then again, maybe most of the towns in the Wild West look that way. I'll keep my eye on this game, and I highly recommend checking out the gameplay trailer if you're interested. The latest update for Rainbow Six Siege's ongoing Operation Health has been released. The update introduces alpha packs, which are basically a chance-based looting system like in Overwatch or other games with loot crates. Alpha packs will contain randomized cosmetic items. In addition to the existing items, alpha packs will also include unique legendary items that can only be acquired via the alpha pack system. Players can now also use their renown to buy the alpha packs, but there's currently no way to directly purchase them with real money. Hibana's unique gadget, the X-Karos launcher, is being completely recoded, and some of the new changes have been included in this update. Many of the buggy mechanics from the pellets launched from the weapon will now be fixed. And in addition to this, a few of the maps have been updated. Canal has had some of the spawning locations reinforced so that players can't get spawn killed quite so easily, and Coastline has had some of the wall destruction reworked. A reveal trailer for the upcoming World War II online shooter Hell Let Loose has been released. Billed as a realistic World War II shooter, players will be able to fight in 100-man battles with tanks, artillery, and World War II era gunplay. The game is also going to include some RTS elements like dynamic frontline systems and some supply chains. Visually, the trailer looks well done, though it doesn't seem to reflect what any of the gameplay might look like. From a gaming perspective, though, the market has really been flooded with a bunch of indie World War II shooters recently, so we'll have to see how this one stacks up. 100 players is certainly enticing, and if they can blow the other ones out of the ballpark in terms of gameplay and visuals, then they might actually have a chance at conquering that market. Hell Let Loose will be a PC exclusive available on Steam sometime in 2018. Bungie and IGN showed off a new Destiny 2 PvP map called Vostok. It features part of the social space for Rise of Iron. Vostok is a snowy, mountain-based map, one of the larger maps in the game. Each of the capture points on the map is a major building, forcing players to fight for control in a more enclosed area in an otherwise very open map design. It looks pretty cool, and it certainly does the job of keeping me hyped for the Destiny 2 release. A new trailer for Wolfenstein: The New Colossus featuring more live-action footage has been released along with some new snippets of gameplay. The fictional game show in the trailer shows contestants translating English words to German. At the end, the losing contestant is set to re-education camp, and the host reminds viewers that there's only 173 days left to speak English before everyone is expected to speak German. The gameplay portion of the trailer shows a new gun that vaporizes enemies and a new robotic enemy type. Warframe is getting a massive expansion later this year called Eidolon. The free-to-play co-op shooter will be getting an open world area with its own resources and crafting goals, as well as a new warframe and weapons. This is pretty big news for the game, and since it's been one of the most successful free-to-play games on the market, I imagine the devs have had the budget to really expand the scope of what Warframe can become. Adding a true open world MMO element to the game is a massive change from the current way it plays, and it'll be very interesting to see how this evolves the general nature of Warframe. Each instance of Eidolon will support up to 50 players, and you can roam around with a group of up to 4 players. It's unclear as to whether or not PvP will be available here, but it will feature cool things like a day-night cycle and specific enemies that may only come out during the night or during the day. Anyway, that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments which bit you're most excited about, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.